some of them are saying my childhood was all fake. I don't think the man I knew as Grandpa Harry was Hitler, but it's possible he was. If he and Florence Feller had a baby, they might have had Paul and Bob and Don and Eileen too. Hitler thought he had Holy Spirit of God light on him. But he didn't. I wondered if he could have been a dupe or a patsy. I read Dolores Cannon's section in Conversations with Nostradamus about him, and it said Hitler could be the River Hister. That may not have been the Antichrist's name or something, or that Nostradamus was predicting, the wrong, well, I don't know who cleared that up. Nostradamus may have cleared that up. Anyway, there's what do you call him, a quatrain? Or more, one or more, about Hitler. It said it's possible that quatrain named Hitler when it meant the river Hister, Hister. So we may have another mystery on our hands. There may be something about someone in a home, like a boat home, what you call it? What do you call houses that are docked and they don't sail? Houseboat. Could be someone in a houseboat on the river Hister. There was at least one quatrain about Adolf Hitler in some interpretation of Nostradamus's whatchamacallits. Anyway, when Hitler was named in a quatrain, I think it was Nostradamus that cleared up, not Dolores Cannon, that it may have meant the river Hister, Hister. So we might have a mystery past Adolf Hitler, and it may have to do with someone on the river Hister, so it occurred to me it could be a houseboat. Could be a houseboat on the river Hister in Germany. Something about until opened, quote unquote. Something about, quote, until opened, unquote, that has to do with a houseboat on the River Hister, Hister, Germany, in Germany, not Hitler. It was a misinterpretation, according to, I think, Nostradamus cleared up, with Dolores Cannon. And I'm not sure exactly how it went. Something until opening has to do with someone living in a houseboat on the River Hister. That may be the real Antichrist or enemy of Jesus or something. I don't know. Margaret Unger says she didn't know this shit. Oh, this Nostradamus part? You knew the Hitler part, but not the Nostradamus part? Well, anyway, Hitler didn't have Holy Spirit of God light on him, but I considered, because the men underneath him, like Eichmann and Mengele and stuff, were so horrible, I thought Hitler could have been a figurehead or a dupe. But apparently that's not the case. Hitler went to art school. He wanted to be an artist. He didn't make it. And Harry said he went to art school after high school. I guess I was supposed to think Harry was Hitler or something, but I didn't. Florence Feller says, if you pin down infants, it's easier to choke them. Otherwise, it might hurt you. And only you know how afraid you are of infants in your deepest heart. Nope. Nope. No. Grace? Theron? No. I would say between Diane, Zerk, and Grace. Somebody that looks like both of them may be their sister. Diane Zerk may be uh, sisters of Grace, someone a year older than me in school, a year older than Diane in school, who was killed in a car accident or something while still a teen or in her early 20s. I thought Grace was lovely. She was tall, she had pretty hair, she was sweet. That could have been Donna Harper. Grace from South Miami Junior High could have been Donna Harper, the girl John loved and wanted to marry, but wouldn't when she told him she wasn't a virgin after college. I was about 11. He lived with Lawrence Feller. John Landsberg, my AKA brother, lived with Florence Feller in Lakewood, Ohio, while he went to Baldwin Wallace College, and maybe before that. But we either hadn't moved to Miami yet, or we were visiting very shortly after that. And John and I took a walk, and he explained to me what happened with Donna Harper. I might have asked, because he probably told me on that walk that he was getting married to Donna Dans, his political science professor at Baldwin Wallace. And I may have asked what happened to Donna Harper, because it seemed John had been in love with her and she was very pretty. She was in the Miss Ohio pageant. And he said, well, he felt it was important for religious purposes to marry a virgin. And he said Donna Harper was pinned in college. She was going to study with someone. And she confided to John, I guess he'd started seeing her again. She confessed to him that she wasn't a virgin because she had sex with the man she was seeing in college. So he said that Donna Dans, his political science professor, who was 1 or 2 years older than John, was a virgin. And she was a real disappointment. So, I asked him, are you a virgin? And he sputtered around a little bit and he said, well, of course I am. And I didn't believe him. And Mary says she walked into the den of our house on Lake Road one day. It was John's room for a while. And saw a girl, she knew her name, I forget the name, sitting on top of John, humping him. He was bedridden with a broken leg. He got beaten up by a baseball bat on Huntington Beach. I'm not sure which section of Huntington Beach, but he got beaten up with a baseball bat. He had a broken leg and bruises all over. So he was getting humped with the girl on top. God says Cat Stevens might have done the same thing. Todd Andrews, I don't know where he, South Miami Senior High. He was my boyfriend for a while. And he invited me over to his house, and in his room, he played a Cat Stevens song. Shit. Father and Son. And I thought it was pretty cool, and I could, adapt it to be father and daughter. Well, not only was I supposed to turn into a man, but it introduced me to Cat Stevens, which I'd probably heard a little on the radio, but I bought a couple of his albums and really enjoyed his music. And then I think it was 1973, he left the country and took a vow of silence. And I was disappointed. I was disappointed at that time. And, he's a Muslim now, living in a Muslim country. Now, when he started singing as Yusuf something or other, it was during this time, where the world is ending. And I guess I was supposed to think that he had taken a vow of silence for ethical reasons, moral reasons, and decided to come forward at that time, like I did with Art Garfunkel. He came forward after 30 years out of the spotlight, wrote a book. I bought the book new, a hardback new. I never do that. And it was a piece of shit. It was just blah, 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 I'm handsome, blah, 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 I'm talented, blah, 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 this happened to me, and these people came up to me and said this, and I was like, what the fuck? I thought maybe you were in hiding for 30 years. I'm reluctant on the Kennedys. Hitler says he's been imitating Ted Kennedy in this environment. Hitler and Feller, Hitler and Fitzgerald. Studying on a classroom desk. No. Well, in the underground. Eileen Lansberg Yeager's sermon says they were a very important family. No, I heard they got married. Oh, I don't know, might have, I don't know. I'm not sure how Hitler would have gotten a hold of Ted Kennedy. But Mengele was in the United States torturing children, so Hitler may have been too. I'm gonna stop recording.